ASMR video. Today I'm going to be showing you some of my favorite electronic vinyls within my collection. Maybe you will get to learn some new music, learn some cool facts about music that you already knew, or at the very least, you will be relaxed. Starting off, I want to show you one of my favorite electronic albums of all time, and that is Untrue by Burial. This album is from the early 2000s, and you can absolutely tell based on the samples that Burial uses. He uses a lot of R&B samples that you could definitely recognize if you have an ear for that sort of thing. What's especially cool about Burial and this album to me is that it has the most unique production style I've ever heard on an album in my life, and it used a very basic and totally free DAW to make the music and produce it all. He used Audacity, for those who are curious. Burial was also completely anonymous for well over a decade, and then I believe in 2017 he finally released a selfie, and he looks like any other UK man. You could never tell. If there's any album on this list that I recommend, it's got to be this one. I absolutely love this album. It is one of the most unique ambient experiences I've ever had. It's truly just a beautiful album, and I think sonically this is exactly how it feels to ride the train all by yourself. Up next, I have Sega Bodega's Romeo. I think that the art for this album is absolutely gorgeous, and I love the motif of It's such a stunning record, and I love that it matches Lucy, the girlfriend, just being totally pure white. Now the booklet. Again, with the really cool typeface, I just love it. I think it's really cool. There's Mr. Sega Bodega himself. And I love the cool ghostly reflection in the back. I love this image so much. Here she is again, and there's Sega Bodega as well. I think Sega Bodega is a really, really cool producer. You might know him from his production work with Shy Girl, and I do believe that he's collaborated with Caroline Polachek maybe once or twice, but he is in the scene of, Charlie XCX, Shy Girl, Caroline Polachek, Danielle Harl, Sophie. How cool is that? I love this one. You can't tell if she's trying to reach for his hand or not. They're just totally absent from one another. I think this might be my favorite image from the booklet. I love the movement in it. It's so beautiful. And this song right here, the lyrics for it's such a heartbreaking song. It's about Sophie, one of his close friends. Rest in peace, Sophie. We really miss you. Of course, the album cover again. And that is Romeo by Sega Bodega. Up next, I have a very short EP, but still very cool and experimental nonetheless. And this is Daniela Lalita. This EP is definitely a little bit harsher than the last two, but I still think that it's very cool. Daniela Lalita produces her own music and also produces her own vocals as well. And I believe she acts as her own sound engineer, but don't quote me on that. Either way, it's such a cool album if you are into anything kind of witchy or heavy. There isn't really a booklet for this LP, but there is this really cool portrait of Daniela Lalita, as well as the track list. This project, to me, sounds like a choir of cloned witches on midnight in the middle of a forest. It's so cool, very beautiful, very experimental as well. I think it's very cool. So if you enjoy any kind of harsh or heavier electronic music, this could be a cool choice for you. It's always so hard for me to get the disc and the inserts back into the vinyl. Up next, we have another modern production legend, and that this one are kind of just music for music nerds. It's not really casual listening, but I think that there are several tracks on this album that are built for casual listening. It's almost like Arca's first foray into her own pop album, or at least Arca's version of pop. And if you're not a music nerd like me, maybe you could recognize Arca for some of her production that she did with Kanye West. For instance, she produced On Sight. I think this interior part of the record is very cool. Arca is all about textures and sensory exploration, you know? And this is the booklet. Honestly, these legs used to really scare me. Arca herself used to really scare me, but eventually I got over it. Up next, I have one of my favorite albums of all time, and that is Crystal Castles #2. I do think the interior of the LP is very cool. This very blurry shot of Ethan Cath and Alice Glass. We don't like him. I wish that there was an insert in this LP for me to show you, but I guess I could give you maybe one cool fact about this album, is that this little girl is not related to either of the band members. I think that Ethan Cath said that he saw this photo of someone's daughter hanging up in their office or something like that, and asked if he could use it for the album cover, and hey, I guess they said yes. And of course, this is the track list on the back. I would be really surprised if some of my viewers weren't familiar with Crystal Castles, but if you aren't, I definitely recommend starting with this album. I think it should be common knowledge that #2 is the best, #3 is the second best, and then 1 is unfortunately last. Sorry. Up next, I have an absolute classic, and that is Aphex Twin's selected Ambient Works. This is the cool backside of the album. It's so funny, his most famous song, X-Doll, that almost did not exist and almost didn't make it onto this album. He said that he had recorded it on a cassette tape and almost destroyed it. But I guess God intervened and the track lasted, and now it is what it is. I would think that most music lovers are familiar with Aphex Twin, but maybe not. I think one of the coolest facts about him, or what you should know about him and his music, is that he is a technological prodigy. He would tinker with all kinds of music technology and mess with the actual machines to make really, really cool sounds. And many of his live shows feature him just laying down on the stage on his stomach and just tip-tapping away and playing on his DAW. He's just really cool, kind of playful, and he's known for being a troll. I do have 2 other albums by him in my collection, but I didn't think that they would be the friendliest visuals for an ASMR video. Plus, this is his most well-known, and I thought that you guys might appreciate that. It's so funny. Aphex Twin, his song number 3, some people call it Clementine, is always my go-to ambient song for when I'm sweating it up in the Korean sauna. I will listen to that song on repeat for hours, years even. I love that song. Up next, we have probably the most high energy record on this list, and that is the Prodigy's The Fat of the Land. I think the backside of this record tells you all you need to know about the era and the subculture that this album was recorded during. It's from the early 90s, and it's definitely still to this day one of the more most intense electronic records I've ever heard, at least. I think that many electronic producers really try to mimic the aggression in this album, but they just fall flat, honestly. Something really funny about this album is that no matter what time of day we put it on, if we start to play the opening tracks, it makes my dog go crazy. She starts running around and getting the zoomies and gets really excited. She's a big Prodigy fan, let me tell you. Last but not least, I have Oklou's Joke Enough. I did cover this same album in my cassette tape tour, and yes, I love this album enough to own 2 copies of it. Oklou is really cool, very unique, very special artist. She is from France, and she makes what I would describe as very shy, introverted electronic music. songs. I think that song is really cute. If I had to choose a favorite, it would probably be Family and Friends or Obvious. And another cool fact is she has the song Plague Dogs, which is named after one of the saddest animated movies I've ever seen in my life. You can find it for free on YouTube, but I don't know if I necessarily recommend watching it. It will break your heart. I do also want to mention that my favorite Oklou album is her second album, Galore. I think that one is really, really beautiful. It is truly an introverted album in every way, and I think it's just super, super beautiful, very unique. But in this album, it's evident that she really grew as a producer, as a lyricist, and a vocalist. I think it's very special, and it's also cool that while she was filming all of the music videos for this album, she was pregnant with the cutest little baby. So I think that some of that energy did spill onto this album, and I just think that's really cool. Thank you so much for watching this video. I hope that you really enjoyed it. I hope that maybe you got to learn about a new musician or